Hello, welcome back to the stream about our spatialization demo. Again, my name is Jayne Mast, and I'm here to guide you through how we created the screen sharing part of our spatialization demo. In case you haven't followed along, this is part 6 of our demos, but you can still watch this and it should be easy enough to follow along if you haven't watched the other 5. I do recommend to watch them. They're all available on YouTube, but also on Twitch. And yeah, if you're watching here today, say hi in the chat. We'd love to see who's here. And for those who have I've seen the other ones, you might have noticed a new backdrop. I have a new space where I'm sitting from. So there might be a little bit of a hiccups here and there if the Wi-Fi or the internet is not holding up as well as I hope. But I think so far it's pretty decent. So yeah, for those who are new, as I said, my name is Jayne Mast. I'm the engineering manager over at Daily, where we make video call APIs. And here every week I show you a little bit more about what we create. And I hope you have fun watching this. And please be active on the chat. We have people here to answer any questions you might have, and maybe I will answer some of it if I notice your chat. But I will mostly be focusing on my screen over there. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna switch cameras now. I think this one is much better, which might also make my face a little bit more, I don't know. Sorry, going on a tangent already. Sorry about that. So yeah, what are we doing today? So as I said, we are going to show how we added the screen sharing support to our spatialization demo. So we're doing some tips and tricks for screen sharing, mostly when you're using Daily, but also when you're not using Daily, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but most of this is for Daily anyway. So yeah, this is the blog. This is our spatialization series. As I said, we are on part 6 of 7. Next week, we're going to talk about robots and jest. But this week, we're here at part 6 about screen sharing. If you haven't watched the previous one, this was about the interactive focus zones. So broadcasts, gathering in small groups, etc. But this is very it has somewhat to do with this as well, but we'll go over that in a minute. So if you don't know what the spatialization demo is, let me show you real quick. So we have made this login screen where you can start the demo, and then it loads up this. Oh, it first asks me again to get my camera and microphone because you want that, and then it loads up this world that you can traverse either with the arrow keys or WASD if you're a gamer and want to do that. And then you have your own camera in the center, and then you can either broadcast your camera and your sounds to everyone, or you can go to a room where you're just talking to people within that room, or you can go outside of the room, and then it depends on how far away you are from someone and what direction the person is. Describes your audio. Let me show you Jayne 2. I'm just gonna call Jayne 2. I still need to make this a little bit more interesting. So as you can see, there's my first me version, and here I am. And as you can see, the closer I get to my other one, the brighter the screen is getting. That's also, the audio is also getting louder and less loud. And then if you're far away enough, then you're not hearing and seeing at all. Or if you are in the room, then you can also not see or hear the other one. Well, what are we focusing on today is this little button here in the bottom, which is the screen sharing. Now, screen sharing is only possible when you're either broadcasting to everyone. What shall I screen share? I have a lot of things and I don't know. Oh, I still have Slack open. Should close that. Camera hub. Shall I just screen share this thing? That's fun. Now you have like, oh, no. That didn't do what I hoped it would do. Hold on a second. Refresh that a little bit. I don't know what happened, but I suddenly started moving to the right. I think it has something to do with what I screen shared. You know, I have an idea. Yes. So now I'm screen sharing. Why is this doing it like that? Okay, so there's a bug apparently in the demo where if I walk while I'm screen sharing, I get sort of stuck. It might be fixed in a later version of this, but I'm using version 2.0. I don't know. Let me check one more time if that is indeed the issue. So starting screen share. Okay, so this works. I can walk around, but if I leave this space, then okay. I should probably stop screen sharing. Maybe I can figure out what the bug is there, but maybe not today. I also don't want to overextend myself. But if I manage to fix it, or even if it is fixed, I'll let you know. Right now, you just have to. It's a demo, right? It's not a production thing, so there is probably bugs here and there. It's just to show off what you can do. So should I stop screen sharing? Let's see. So if I stop screen sharing and then go out of it, it's still doing the same thing. Okay, I said I was not going to focus on this, so I should not focus on this, right? Just grab something to drink. We haven't even started yet, and I'm already going off script. I don't have a script, so it's hard to go off script, but yeah. Well, I basically have a script, which is this block. So let's focus on the block for a second. Yeah, I know, Carl, sometimes an itch just needs a good scratch. And maybe I'm gonna scratch that itch later, but not right now. So, what are we doing today? Well, so what I said, screen sharing. We have one pull request within our spatialization demo because we added it later. So we added screen share support. And so if you want to check out exactly what we did to add to it, there's this one PR. Of course, we've added stuff later. And yeah, as it says here, the whole spatialization demo is written in TypeScript and uses PixiJS as our 2D rendering framework. And if you remember the very first demo, very first episode, we said that we would check out the X version 1.0.0 because that's what we were following along. But now we are checking out 2.0.0 because we are using the spatialization demo, which was added later, as I said before. If you haven't done so and you want to follow along, create a daily account, set up a daily room. I explain how you do that in one of the earlier videos. And then just clone the spatialization demo. I don't want to say just because for some people it's not something that they do every day, so it's not as easy. But if you have npm set up, you can clone the whole thing and run the demo. So, we mentioned it yet? No, not sure. Maybe we'll mention it later, but it's best to not do more than 2 screen sharings at the same time, because otherwise there's a lot of performance issues then. So best to sort of cap it off at 2 screen shares. Not really sure why I'm saying that right now. I was thinking about it when it said like it only works in your broadcast when you're broadcasting and when you're when we have 1 user per desk zone that can share the screen. So if you say only 1 user per desk zone can share the screen and a user in the broadcast zones can share the screen, then you have a maximum of 2 always. So let's just keep it at that. Oh, right, here it is. This also works nicely with our recommended screen track subscription constraints. We suggest users subscribe to a maximum of 2 screen share tracks at a time. I'm not gonna repeat myself again. So I'm just gonna go into this part. So we want to have screen share controls. And we first had this part, the camera and microphone and the leave button. And now we wanted to add this button here. So to do so, we have added, is it here? Yes, we have added an extra button, toggle screen share. And we want to disable and be hidden by default because we don't really know. Like we don't know if the room that you're joining by default allows screen share. So a room is either this global room that we're in right now, or like this is a room and then this is also a room. Yes. We've talked about these room setups a little bit earlier in one of the previous blogs / videos. So if you want to know more about that, you can check that out. So what else are we doing? So we've added this toggle screen share button, some extra styling, and then we have these Typescript file nav.ts where we had these register cam button listeners and mic button, and now also we want to do a register screen share button listener. On hints, on heights. Note that there's a typo here. So your screen share controls are entirely hidden. Registering a listener unhides them and makes them usable. Okay. So we have this screen share button listener, and then there should also be a update screen button right here. So basically these buttons were turning the classes off and on so that you show the right icons. So for camera, it would be this, and for mic, it would be this, and for screen share, it's slightly different what I shown before, but I'm not gonna turn it on right now. And that is here, update screen button. So let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time, which I shouldn't be doing. So let me just grab me. Shouldn't be doing without you. I mean, so So we start off with this button being disabled, as I said before. We have these register listeners for the button click events. So is this here? Where are we registering the button? Register, not join form. Register screen share button listener. That is what we're doing in the room, which we're probably getting into later. When registering a listener, we also make sure that the button isn't hidden to the user. Until we call this function to register at least one listener, the button will remain hidden from view and completely disabled. So that's what we're doing right here. So however, screen sharing requires one additional navigation function, temporarily disabling and re-enabling the button. Unlike the camera mic controls, the screen share control should only be enabled when. Okay, so screen sharing is enabled in the user's daily room config and the user is in a broadcast zone. Okay, so that's about this. So this is disabled when you're not in either a broadcast zone, a desk zone, and nobody is currently sharing the screen, or if you're already sharing the screen, because you should be able to disable it. Wait, I'm just gonna try something. What if I share my screen again? Sorry, I'm just gonna go back into this bug again and then leave like this. Okay. That was not it. So I think there is a bug right over there, which should still be enabled. I don't know which version I'm using right now, but to help us accomplish this, we have created an enable screen button function. So that's what I was seeing a little bit earlier. Where is it? There it is. So here was a enable screen button. Was that it? Yes. If this feature is completely disabled by hiding the controls early out. Okay, so if the hidden class is still there, then you just go away. So that's if you haven't registered the button yet. Get into that later. Then, let's see, do enable. Otherwise, if the caller is enabling screen sharing, we update the button accordingly. So that's the do enable. We'll also get into that later when do enable is set to true. And we also need to disable the button once more when the user leaves the call. In case the next room they join does not have screen sharing enabled, we'll do this by adding a couple of additional calls to our show join form function, which is called when the user leaves a call. Yes, so the show join form function see. So once you leave the calls, then the call object is the daily call object will be destroyed. The world will be recreated, and then you will get this join form again. So which is, let's see, where is it again? Which is this form, that's the join form. So if you are showing the join form, that means that you're leaving the call. So we removing the button click. Oh, and we say enable screen share button. We set it to false, so that means that this one will be false, and then this will be disabled as well. So in the 3 new lines above, that's this part, what I just showed. We reset the onClick handler for the screen share button, disable button once more, and re-add the hidden class to hide the button completely. This will be a no-op if the element. Yeah, so if you say class list.add, then it will just add it. If you say class list.toggle, it will either add or either show or hide it. So it's fine if it's already there. It won't add a second class. Spooky season has started, apparently. Halloween is coming. So as it says here, move on to the room class where the screen sharing magic happens. Lovely GIF there. So the room is what we've seen a couple of times already. This is where we do all the room stuff, which kind of makes sense, right? So in the constructor, we created the call object and set up all the message handlers. Is that a correct term? The event handlers, that was the correct term I was looking for. It's also my favorite holiday, Lisa. I think we should all do something daily for Halloween. Maybe have a costume contest or something. That would be fun. What day is the 31st this year? Is it a day that I'm going to do my streaming? Is it a Wednesday? I do think that if we do a costume contest at daily, then all the Americans are have a little bit of an edge, because I don't know how it is in other cities in Europe, other countries, but in the Netherlands, Halloween is not that big of a thing. But still would love to see everybody's costume. And you only have to have the costume from here up there, right? Halloween on a Monday this year. Thank you, Carl. Maybe I should do a Halloween special stream. We also have a lot of meetings on Monday, so maybe we can just set a Halloween themed meeting. Anyway, what we're talking about, rooms, yes. Let's go into the rooms details. So, in our room class, the first thing we do is to add a new boolean to our state type. So we have this type, which is a TypeScript thing. So where that says if something has this type of state, it has to have it can have an audio, video, and now the new thing is a screen. Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat. Lisa says, I don't usually do costumes, I just wear flannel and fantasize about autumn and pumpkins. Very good, very good. That's what everyone should do, says Carl. I totally agree. I don't have a lot of flannel. Maybe I should start buying flannel. I'm not really sure if I can pull it up. I just drink a lot of pumpkin spice lattes. I'm that kind of Halloween person. Very basic. Right. The screen boolean. So this means the state has an audio, a video, a screen. The question mark means it's optional. And we're using that state here in the local state thing, but also in other places, I guess. at least in the local state. So that's the state of the local participant. I really need to focus on other things, right? Oh, this was not the right. I really need not to look at the chat, even though it's fun. I always like talking about other things, but right now I should focus on this. So in our existing handler for the joined meeting event, we check if screen sharing is enabled in the daily room. The user just joined by adding an extra call to a new function called maybe enable screen sharing. I do like the name maybe enable screen sharing. It's like, either way, I'm fine. So check if the user's browser and current room meet the requirements for screen share support, and enable if so. So yeah, that's another thing that you should check. Like, there's a lot of browsers that actually don't support screen sharing. Major browsers do, but not like older versions or some mobile versions. But we have a browser info thing called supported browser. So I am going to show you a little bit of our docs, I guess. Not docs.google, but this kind of docs. So we have in our docs, we have a supported browser thing. And here it says everything that will be returned. Sort of the browser details, like what kind of browser is it? Is it mobile? The name of the browser. If we support daily on that browser. And some things that are very useful for knowing some features that are relevant to video calls. So full screen is something that you might want to do with video calls. Screen sharing is the thing that we're doing right now. SFU, which we'll probably get into a very later stage, and the same with video processing. And also the version. Now, I don't say you need to do browser sniffing, but with WebRTC, version sniffing and browser sniffing is something that you sometimes just need to do, because some browsers, and I'm not going to say which, but it starts with I and ends with OS, they tend to do some things when new versions come out. Then you need to fix that for that version. So yeah, the very old saying that I don't need to do browser sniffing does not do well for WebRTC, because they also sometimes lie about supporting things, but that's what we're fixing here, so you don't have to worry about that. So we check if screen share is possible with this specific browser. If not, then we're returning it. So then that one button, the one class for the hidden button, that just stays hidden. So if you're wondering earlier in this video, like, why would we check if something is hidden? That's because of this. Maybe you don't have screen sharing. So after that, we retrieve some room properties and check if screen sharing is enabled. So in your room settings, and I'm just gonna check if I have that here. No, I'm going to log in for a second and show you those room settings. Yes, okay, here it is. Just gonna share this browser here. Okay, so this is the room right here, and here it says screen sharing is true. So if you set that to false, then of course you are not able to do screen sharing, and it's disabled. So we get the room config here, room info. We check if screen sharing is disabled with exclamation mark right over here, and if it is, then we also early out. But if screen sharing then is enabled, then let's see. So then we check if is sharing. Yes. So then we check if they are already screen sharing, like by checking this the screen sharing track. And if wait, am I saying that correctly? Maybe enable screen sharing. Yes. So and if we are not, then we start screen sharing. Otherwise, we stop screen sharing. So that's the is that a button? Wait. Check if the user browser currently meets room for screen share. And yes. So start screen share. I'm saying wrong things again. Sorry. If screen sharing is enabled, enable our screen share controls. Yeah, so is sharing, start screen share, stop screen share. Let me check. So this start screen share is capture stream. Okay, let's go back to the blog because the blog explains it all for us. Maybe enable screen share. So what actually happens when we call start screen share? Mentioned above, we'll be grabbing our, let's see. First we make a call to the daily static support browsing method. Next we make a call to the room call object instance methods, which has the configuration, yes. Once the problem resolves, we cast the return data to the relevant daily type. Oh, yes. We cast it to the relevant daily type. This is a Typescript thing. So we want to say, okay, this room info is this type. If the info object is not formed as expected or the configuration enable screen share property is falsy, we go no further. So if this is not correct, then it's false. Otherwise, we go on to call the register screen share button listener. Oh, right. So, yeah. All right. I was a little bit mistaken again. So we're calling this register screen share button listener. And that has a function. So we're calling this function, which removes the hidden and make sure that the toggle screen button on click. Sorry, I missed a whole line there, which was calling this function. And it adds that function that we gave in the toggle screen button. So if you go on click, oh, it's not on click. If you do on click, then it calls this function. So then you check if it's sharing. If yes, then stop screen share. And if you're not sharing already, then start screen share. Okay, this makes way more sense. For some reason, I just missed this bit and was just looking at this. Who knows why I do things sometimes. Just take another sip of my tea here. This the tea I'm drinking is called Happy Monday, and I always drink it on days when it's not Monday. Like sort of a first world anarchist, I guess. Start screen share. Sometimes I just so confused by the things that I say. I hope it comes across okay. So doing these live streams, it's my first time that I'm actually doing these live streams, and it's sometimes a little bit weird that you're just saying everything that comes in your head, and then there's things that pop up in your head that later you think like, why was I saying this at that point? But yeah, you learn, I guess. It's good for me to say what I think. I'm not used to doing that. See, here I go again. Anyway, back to back to the code, away from Jayne's weird head. So we have these options. Okay. Okay, so this is a navigator.media devices that get display media. So this is from the window navigator function. So this explains it all very well and probably way better than I can do at this point. So, so we configure our options to retrieve video only. The constraints we can specify here are quite extensive, but for our purpose, we just specify the most basic, just give us video please option. You can read more about the potential parameters here. And then, yes, this is a link to Mozilla Developers Network. And instead of getting video for screen sharing and other user media, is it other user media? Get user media property. Video track, yeah. So for now, for this bit, we only want video, which makes sense because we want to get the video of someone's screen and not anything else. So that's why we set this options to true, and we put it like this so it's easier to see than when you have it here. Makes sense, right? And next we call, let's see. Next we await a call to get display media, which gives us a media stream with the user screen video track. So we done the tracks about video and audio tracks in a previous blog, video, stream, whatever. We did it before, we talked about that before. This gives you yet another track, yet another video track. It's weird because you feel like this is a camera, so you get your video track from that. And it feels weird to say like, oh, this screen here is also a video what you get back. But it is like it is. And then, so that's what we're doing here. We get display media, and if it works, then we say to the daily call object start screen share. So that we pass our media stream over to daily to do its magic. And then we are screen sharing. And you think, well, that's it, but no. If you have looked closely on the right side, you can see my scroll bar. We're not halfway through yet. So what else is there to do? Well, you will, of course, you need to get other people's screen shares. You will need to send your screen share to others. Make sure that other people know that you're screen sharing. But one of the things, so is it in the room? Participant update. So it should be right here, right? Yes. So if it is successful, this participant update event will be triggered, and that will have the daily event object participant screen track in it. And then it says here, sorry, I keep going back and forth. It then updates does update local. So so then we check if this .local state.screen is not the same as p.screens, and this is, if you start screen sharing, that this local state is I think null at this point. So then it would not be the same right? Or am I saying things wrong? Above, just as with the microphone, we toggle the local state depending on whether the local participant screen is on or not, and call the update screen button function we went through above accordingly. Yeah. Remote users also get a participant updated event with the screen track. To utilize this, we update our get participant track method. Where are we doing that? Yes. So to utilize it, we update our get participant tracks. Yeah, so this get participant tracks, let's see. We update the user. Okay, so to update the user, we want to also send tracks.screen, and we get all these tracks in the get participant tracks, which is what we've done in the previous video. And here we have added this new track called screen video that we get back from daily. And so instead of just video and audio, we also have screen video. So we do the same as we did with the video and audio. We check if it's in a playable state or not. And then we return this screen track. And going back. So then we can do update user here with our new screen track. Am I still in the same thing? So to utilize this, we update our get participant tracks method to return the screen share track if one exists. The code is very much the same as that we already do for the camera and microphone, and you can check it out here. This track will then be passed to our world instance to actually display the track as needed. We'll go through what's happening in the world instance shortly. Okay, so that is what we're doing here. So just going back for a second. And we make a small adjustment to our existing sub to user tracks methods. So when are we actually calling that? Right, so if we want to subscribe to tracks, which we're also doing in the world, the function world will use to instruct the room to subscribe to another user's tracks. Like when, for example, when someone joins the room or the world. Why isn't it just going to what I want? I was just pressing the wrong button, of course. So yeah, we instead of saying audio through, video through, we also say screen video through because we want to sub to that, and also, by the way, unsub to it again. So yeah, there is, like it says here, another way to stop screen sharing, which is not through the button itself that you have. So if I have screen sharing here, allow, then there's also this button here at the top of the screen that says stop screen sharing. I don't know if you can see it properly, but there's this blue button. So if you click on that, it should also stop the screen sharing and update everything. So how do we know that that happens? So daily automatically sends a new participant updated event with those participant properties to indicate that the user is not screen sharing and then there is no valid track. However, we also want to allow the user to stop screen sharing in our application itself. As we saw above, when they click on the screen share button while screen sharing, our stop screen share method will be called. So that happens here in the maybe enable screen sharing. So if you, yeah, so this is when you click on the button on the bottom. So then you'll be able to, so this is what I mentioned before. So if you click on this, then you get the update participant updated event. But you don't get that when you just click on the button, of course. So what you say here is, we say to the call object itself, stop screen share, and that cleans up everything and fire events. But it says here, daily.js only calls stop on daily managed tracks. And since we got our screen track ourselves, we must stop it manually. So daily is not managing our local screen share. We need to stop it with the participants.local, that's screen video track, that's stop. But this is something that is, I think, a little caveat here. This is because we retrieved our display media by hand via the get display media, and then passed the track to daily. The call object stop screen share instance method only stops daily managed tracks, which this one is not, because we're doing it through this. So we're not doing it through the daily stuff. So as we mentioned, we don't want the screen share button to be clickable when our user is in a global traversal zone. So the unjoined zone callback defined inside our room class, we add a bit of logic to handle screen sharing. Okay, so when a user is changing the zone, so if they go from broadcast to global or from global to room, then this will be called in the world class. So here we say, if it's on a global zone, then, and we have this screen track in the local states, then we stop screen sharing. And we enable or disable the screen button. If not, so if we are going basically from global zone to something else, we enable the screen button. That's all we do here. But what does stop screen share do? That's what we already saw. I'm not gonna say it again. Is that all what I was, yeah. That's everything for that part. So now we have the world class. So how does the world handle screen share tracks? So handle. Oh yeah, so we have the update user. I was just there. Can I go back? Update user. So this is what we were a moment ago. So with the handle participant update function calls this world.update user. So, and this then passes the screen through the update tracks. And then we have a media.update screen source. So the media is the user media that we gotten before. That is passed when you create a user. Am I correct? User media. Oh yeah, so the media handles all the user media. So, and that also includes the screen source. I'm just going into that a little bit. So it updates user, finally the user update tracks calls, update screen source on the user media instance. At that point, user media decides what to do with the track. We've left comments in line to walk you through the function. Okay, so let's do that. So update screen source, what does it do? So it has a new track. We first check if it had a track by catching the old screen track. And then we set the new track to this.screen track. So this is the old one, this is the new one. If the user is traversing, we don't show the screen track. If the user is traversing, we don't show the screen share track. Have we gotten into traversing yet? When is a user traversing? Right. Right, so that's a very small state when it's a very small state when you're leaving a zone. Otherwise, if the user has a new track and is not traversing, try to show the screen track. So so that's what we're going into a little bit later. And then if we had a screen track previously and no longer do, try to remove any existing screen share DOM element. So if you have a screen track, then you try to show it and leave the function. But if you do not have a screen track right now, but we did have a screen track, then we will try to remove it. All right. So probably we need to go into this function for a second to see what it happens when you say try show screen share. Try show screen share. Again, if we don't have a screen track, then we return. So if you call this function for some other reason, then we'll just early out. So then we go into the show screen share function, which we have in a tile. Is this the right order that we're try show screen share? Which will handle actually creating the relevant. Okay, so what this will do is show screen share shows a screen share video tile in the zone mates div. So we have a div that has these. Okay, I can show you. We have this div, which is sorry about that. Is the zone mates div, and if you share your screen in the zone mates div, if you share your screen, it will be added to this same div element. So it will just add next to it. So we have looked before how this show ZoneMate does in a previous one, but now we have a new tile called screen. So we had which has a different kind of tile ID when you create it. And other than that, it looks the same. So it says here, most of the logic is shared between camera and screen. Okay. Am I missing something with that part? Here we are. No. We're not actually going into the details there. And then we have try remove screen share, which does sort of the same thing, but then removes the DOM element instead. They also update the buttons. So let's go back into where we were. Here we were. Enable screen share. Screen button happens if we are showing. So if you're in the zone, you enable screen share. You disable screen share. Let's see. So if someone is in a relevant zone, start a screen sharing that is not the local user, disable the screen share button for the local user. So if you're showing the screen share, someone in a relevant zone started screen sharing that is not the local user, disable the screen share button for the local user. So, and then you cannot screen share as well. And this is when someone is, so you're trying to remove screen share from someone. If you're trying to remove screen share from someone else, then you put your local screen button back on. So you cannot start another screen share. There are some flaws with this approach, which we're not going to talk about today. But yeah, there's always flaws in demos like this, of course, but it's more to show you what we can do. Show screen share and remove screen share reuse most of the logic from a previous function to show a ZoneMate's camera track. The only difference between a screen share tiles are larger than camera tiles. We've refactored this code a bit to allow for reuse of the camera tile logic and minimize duplication, as you can see in the diff. We believe you. To enable this kind of code reuse, we've introduced a new enum called ZoneMate tile kind. So that is not here, that's probably in the title. Yeah, so that was this one, where you're showing the ZoneMates. It has, we didn't use it before because we only had a camera. Now we also have screen. A public show camera and show screen functions use this enum to call common show ZoneMate private function. Show camera shows a camera video tile in the ZoneMates div. Show screen share shows a screen share video tile in the ZoneMates div. And is show camera called? It is called here in show or update camera. Try show screen share. Yeah. Use this enum to call common show ZoneMate. Yeah. So then that's what we saw, of course. Show ZoneMate uses this enum here to figure out what IDs it should have. That's what we already went through. And that's it. Our screen share ZoneMate tile creation now follows almost the same code path. Oh, what kind of video? Oh, I have a video where my cat watches one of those videos for cats to watch and just taps the screen and it's very cute and I should share at one point, but yeah. Anyway, that's all that everything is working now. It works for local user, it works for someone else. So if I am sharing this screen over here, allow this, it will also show up for this user, except if this user leaves the room, then this one is still sharing, but I don't see it. But when I get back, hey, there is the screen share again. Sorry about that. Still wondering what problem this is. It doesn't make sense. I just keep walking and walking until I cannot walk anymore. Should I try to figure it out? It is already 9 o'clock. I probably don't want to do that right now. Maybe I should. I'm just gonna look at Lisa. Is this already been fixed, Lisa, in a newer version? Have you seen the bug before? Hopefully she will give me a response in the chat. I don't think it has. Okay. But maybe it did. Maybe it's just it's weird. What could it be? Is it, by the way, I keep moving to the right side. It would be weird if it's just to the right, but who knows? Sometimes things are weird. No, it's to every side. Okay. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Kind of want to fix it, but I'm not gonna hold everybody else like in this video right now. So anyway, thank you for watching. This was the end of part 6 of our videos, our spatialization videos. Last week is the last week where we do lots of fun stuff with robots and and we're actually gonna test the whole thing using fake screens, which would be, I think, nice because testing video is sometimes really hard to do. So we're going to show you how to do it. So yeah, I hope you're going to be there. That will also be my last week for a while because I'm going on vacation and I'm looking forward to it. Even though I'm not going to get to do these awesome streams, I am going to probably vlog my vacation. Who knows? If you want to see that, then maybe try to follow me on Twitter, which is Jayne_Mast. Just promoting myself here as well, just a little bit. So Lisa has a good point about the error, which probably sometimes like earlying out the update function. We'll figure it out, and if we have fixed it in the meantime, I will update you next week. Yeah, thank you for being here again. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful Wednesday, whatever is left of it. And I hope to see you all next week. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to comment. And if you're on Twitch or YouTube, don't forget to subscribe as well. So thank you again, and see you next week. Bye bye.